Carbros USA. Yeah.
This is Carbros Podcast, episode 5, right?
Yes.
5.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back.
Welcome, everyone.
Welcome.
And this is the first, I should just say, this is the first podcast, the first new podcast.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because we shot 4 in a day, if you couldn't tell.
As you can see, our outfits are very different.
Yes.
Which actually, I was driving over here, and I think I'm wearing the same thing, and I'm drinking a Jamba Juice.
Same color, yeah.
Photoshop trickery.
It actually doesn't look like it's any different because I have like one pair of shorts and like 2 shirts. But it is different.
But we just wanted to say thanks for all the support.
Yeah, it's been really positive. It's been
And consistent, which is good.
it's been consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I think, well, like we had no idea what would become of
Yeah.
these.
Well, we guessed 500 to 1,000, but I don't think we actually
Really?
guessed. I don't know.
It's
As a
optimistic.
hunch. Yeah. And that's about what it is. That's almost
Yeah,
exactly
but I
what it
mean,
is.
just like what we've been doing, this is such a big departure.
Yes,
So
that's true.
we really didn't know how people would react.
Yeah.
And obviously, not everyone's going to like it, but
Yeah, but we found our core audience.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what this
900
is.
people. Turns out it wasn't 7 million.
Yeah.
It's 900.
It was close. It was a slight over exaggeration.
I mean, if you round up,
Yeah, it's about the same. It's about there. So that's good.
No, yeah, I think I'm sure we'll continue to refine it.
Yeah, it's still going to be a little rough.
yeah.
Warning.
It's going to be
Warning. It's going to be rough. Yeah.
I also wanted to mention that it is now on Apple Podcasts and Google Play. It wasn't when we first started because there was
Oh yeah, I guess we could talk about that.
a bit of technical
We could-
difficulties. I guess like the week before we started this, unknowingly, the server you use to upload or submit your podcast for Apple just went down,
Apple had some problems.
and it was a huge problem, and no one could submit or log into their podcasts
Yeah,
account for
and
3 weeks almost.
How much time would you estimate that you spent on
I mean,
hold?
well,
and
the
or
day I
talking
did
to
it, I
them on
called
the phone?
Apple and spent like 2 hours on, customer support, being just transferred from first it was the iTunes store, and then they transferred me to like some other department, and then they're like, oh no, that's the App Store, you got to go to developers, and like everyone was just blaming everyone else, and then
And finally, one guy was like, "Well, I
yeah.
wish I could
he's
help
like,
you, bro.
I don't really know what to tell you, so
See ya."
yeah.
that's all I can say. That's all I'm allowed to say.
That's what you want to hear.
Good luck.
So now it's all dialed in.
Yes.
We're legit. So that's another option.
and what you said,
listen to this.
if they rate it, that makes
Yeah, so if you want to, or if you can, like if you subscribe to the podcast and then also leave a rating, I guess it helps the not analytics, but the algorithm to
whatever.
boost us, to new and noteworthy.
make us look legit.
Yeah,
So rate
just
us.
to try to get it out there.
if you would.
Please.
And in that flavor, I should also say this podcast is happening really because of John. This is John's initiative to buy all this shit and
Build this studio.
set it up. It probably would have happened.
Oh yeah. Well, we can get to this later, but somebody made up a good question of like, what are our names? Which we haven't not.
Oh,
really,
yeah.
So yeah, I'm Mike.
Two
Garrett.
Mikes. Yeah,
Yeah,
two
we're-
Mikes and a John.
Yeah,
Yeah, the middle guy is John.
Yes.
We're both Mike.
Yeah.
go by you
We usually use our last names.
Yeah.
to
Garrett
avoid-
Coin.
yeah.
But we also kind of went to school in the era when like half the class was named Mike or Michael.
Yeah,
so
They were born in the 80s.
yeah. There's a lot of
6
Michaels,
other
so-
Michaels. Yeah.
yeah. So anyways,
So that's that.
Mike, John, and Mike.
But yeah, I just wanted to call that out. If you are enjoying the podcast and its regularity, because this is the only thing we've ever done with any sort of consistency, you can thank John. So
It's my pleasure.
kudos. Yeah, good work. Keep it up. Okay, so there are some comments.
Yeah, I guess we could.
Oh, yeah, do you want to mention the Patreon?
We also have a Patreon.
So yes, please give us money.
We actually gained a few, so thank you.
Yeah, no, yeah,
thanks
we
for that
seriously
support.
did,
That's
yes.
it's a good morale boost and
Yeah,
keeping us going.
Yeah, it turns on the guilt.
yeah.
Pretty good.
You're like, oh, God, I guess we will.
Yeah. So yeah, we're going to try to keep this going, at least for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I think we have a pretty good game plan laid out for.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess obviously we kind of mentioned it in the earlier episodes, but people were asking like, "Oh, you guys are going podcast only," but we are not. We have a handful of other videos which are being developed, written.
Yeah, the fall's going to be pretty hot. We
Yeah.
got a couple things going.
Yeah.
So I'd say like 2 or 3 videos.
So the idea is that these will supplement our perhaps not regular video releases.
If anything, these will lead to more videos.
Right.
Because it gets us just in a regular cadence.
Exactly.
So
yeah. So
only good stuff
we are not
because of it.
transitioning to a podcast only entity.
But hopefully it's all good. Hopefully people enjoy the...
Yes. This is like the side of Southwestern ranch sauce that goes with your burger and fries.
That's a good analogy.
Very zesty. Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
Comments?
Oh, so do we want to...
hit us with some comments.
Yeah.
So we kind of mentioned in the previous episodes that, if anyone has any questions or anything, to please, drop them in the comment section. And there were several that I guess we can just go through real quick. First off, we have Brian Garcia, who asked about the 64-ounce Big Gulp cups, which have been featured in
The Johnny
several of our videos.
We haven't done it in a while.
No,
Well,
we haven't.
yeah, because they stopped. The backstory is like, dude.
So there's this store that I don't know how far reaching it is, called Johnny Quick.
Yeah.
Which is essentially like an AM PM 7-Eleven
Gas station convenience store.
It's a chain, and I don't know exactly how far out they go. But anyways, they have fountain sodas, and they have various sizes, and 64 ounce is the largest.
Yeah.
But for some reason, up until fairly recently, their 64 ounce cup was this very large.
It was like the old school Big Gulp.
The kind that was not made to fit in a car's cup holder.
It fits in 0 cup holders.
It's like it's as wide as it is tall. it's like a cardboard bucket.
Yeah.
Which is like, that's how they were before. They were like, wait, we can make the bottom narrower.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you used to have to like sacrifice.
You literally had to two-hand it.
Or just hold it between your legs if you have an
It's
automatic
like,
or something.
You're holding this thing.
Yeah, so that, I mean, we would
just hilarious.
We would just see him in the store like every time we got in there, like, that's a funny guy.
Like, that's the backstory, is that like we saw the cup and it was funny because it's so big and stupid.
And then we bought it. At one point, I always had just like a couple of those things in my trunk.
I still have a few because they changed.
Those are going to be collectors.
Well, they got rid of the 64
They got rid
ounce.
of it.
Yeah.
Or they just changed
Well,
the
yeah,
cup
they changed to a more modern.
to an ergonomic.
Yeah.
Then you don't have to be like shameful buying that thing anymore.
Can you give me a handout with that?
Yeah, it was a big sacrifice in the old days. Like, if you wanted that much soda, you're committed. You're not putting that in a cup holder. Like, you're holding that thing. That's why Big Gulps were so iconic.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, that guy's got a lot of soda. Like, he really likes Coke. Shit.
Yeah, so
That was the backstory.
I'm sure they. So you say you do have?
I have one. At least one.
Well, make sure you
unused one.
cherish that thing, because that was the end of an era, my friend.
It really was. This was the last place.
Yeah, at some point we will reintroduce them.
Yeah, maybe.
Keep an eye out for that. Yeah. Okay. And so what else? All right. So Romaine asked if we are creating any more shirts.
Oh, that's right. A couple people were like, sell more shirts.
Right.
Yeah.
Or
I don't, there's not really a good reason not to. Well, here's the thing. The Ferrari Mustang
the first one we made. Oh, wait, we should probably mention the painting story of this. Yeah. So the first shirt we made was the Ferrari
Mustang.
Yeah, Ferrari
misspelled with the Mustang logo. So anyways, for whatever reason, we were too dumb to think that you could, just make the image on a computer and print it onto a shirt.
And then iron on the shirt. Yeah.
Right. So we literally,
Sharpie.
Mike
Yeah.
Coin, literally
Hand
drew. And you can't, and the best thing is you cannot tell in the video.
You kind of can. If you look close, it's a little janky.
If anyone could actually tell that was hand
back and
painted,
look.
please. Yeah.
But it's just painted with a paintbrush and some acrylic paint.
It took no joke
Michaels.
3 hours of straight work to make
The most labor-intensive part of that video is making that shirt.
And then
and it was a huge hit.
Yeah.
That's what was sweet about it.
Didn't it start out with we were going to just misspell Ferrari, but we were going to keep the prancing horse, and then halfway through you were like, let's put the Mustang.
I don't know.
Probably.
It all came together.
It was a late night.
Yeah.
And then so someone pretty much the day that video came out.
Oh, that's right.
Those shirts started.
There were 10 to 15 people that just popped up
like instantly,
instantly selling that shirt.
which they had no affiliation or they didn't ask.
Well, to this day, there's someone who sells it on eBay, but it's not us.
Yeah.
And he's sold like 200 of them.
Yeah.
And it's like, it says Carbros in like the title. It's not even on the shirt. He's such a dick.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like, here you go. I'm a profit
but the thing is, like, I think even at the time we talked about, like, we should sell these. We were like, I remember we heard all those stories about, like, Ferrari being super protective.
They are very aggressive about their copy. I'm surprised they've let him go.
And so we were just like,
but it's like, I don't want
that.
Yeah,
we didn't. That was like our second video.
Yeah.
And we were like, we don't want to get shut
And Ferrari
down.
is a legit.
Yeah.
Like they will go
just
for it.
like,
So we've never offered that shirt, even though a lot of people ask. And if you Google Carbros, like if you start to type CAROB, the like first autofills, like Carbro shirts.
Oh, right.
It's like everyone
Ferrari
just wants that. It's like, yeah, sorry.
And then, so then the next time we did that was the Porsche shirt.
Also hand painted.
Which that was literally just
painstakingly hand painted. I don't know. But they were.
And that was also like another like 2 to 3 hours spent.
Yeah. We still have them both.
Yeah. If anyone,
so there's only one of each of these. If you've ever seen it for sale, it's someone else.
Yeah.
Because we just didn't have the cojones to offer it. Because I've heard of Porsche doing something similar.
Like very protective of their...
Yeah, like I don't think it'd end up in court, but it would at least be
like, hey, stop.
Like a cease and desist.
Yeah, it's just like, I just didn't want to
Yeah.
get on some blacklist somewhere.
Especially that quickly.
Yeah, so we've never sold either of those, even though like a lot of people have asked.
Yeah.
And they're clever. It's like, go paint your own.
But
Yeah. And then, but beyond that, the general comment of like, you should make more shirts. Like, yeah, we probably should.
Yeah.
They don't take a ton of work. And it's so easy to make that stuff now. As long as they're high quality. I don't want to just make some like
janky,
boxy cotton stupid shirt. But like you can find places. The one that we did make, the Nürburgring one, that place makes pretty nice stuff.
Yeah.
So we probably will.
I'm sure
that's good.
There will be more shirts.
I think that's good feedback.
And then someone else asked about like actually opening up a storefront.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's...
I would say in time.
Yeah, we'd like to get there. It's just one more thing.
Yeah, it's
to
just
manage.
another thing.
So
if someone wants to step up, do that for us. But yeah, it'll probably get there. But yeah, that is good to know. People are always down for
merch,
swag like that. Yeah,
iPhone cases.
Yes,
and then
spinners.
So we had a couple different people ask. They were demanding more Jack Diamond.
Really?
Yeah, there's like a handful.
Oh,
like
we have some Jack Diamond ideas.
We got him here with us.
Is he in the show?
Part of it is I rented a car and left the sunglasses in it. So like there was part of it I was like, well, that character's dead.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of the whole thing. But like he could come back. We do have an idea for him.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, I mean, he's not dead. Okay,
Jack Diamond's fine. I'd do another one. It's just like it's hard to repeat characters when we make a video every 4 months or something. It's like, really, we're just gonna like do another.
Go back to that.
So it's like it's still on the
we have a
table. That's cool. That people like him.
Maybe someday we can actually get him on the podcast as a guest.
Yeah, maybe. He's a busy guy, I hear.
I mean, the outfit's in my kitchen.
Yeah,
24/7
Yeah, I think.
So Jack, if you're listening, we'd love to have you on.
Well, that's funny. People want that. Yeah, crowd pleaser.
So there's that. And okay, last one. There's others, but some of them were kind of dumb. So I just skipped over. But anyway, James Elterman requested that we introduce the soundboard to these podcasts.
I agree.
And
I agree with that.
We had talked about that.
We just haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
And I'm a little bit worried.
It's a little distracting.
We'll do it once and see how it goes. Yeah. My idea is we each get like 3 sounds that the other 2 don't know about until the podcast starts. And then we like unveil them.
I just imagine that if we all had soundboards, it would just
it'd be pretty bad. This is already like borderline unlistenable. With soundboards, it'd just be
not just one soundboard, but 3.
Oh,
3 soundboards. So yeah, maybe we'll do an episode where it's like, look, guys, just a heads up.
Maybe our Christmas special.
Skip this episode unless you work at like an Amazon warehouse and just need to zone
Just a
out
heads up. Please do not listen.
yeah.
So yeah, we'll put that on the list.
Yeah. So there is that. Okay. Well, that's good. Just putting it out there, we do respond directly to people on Patreon.
Yes.
If someone messages on Patreon, it's like I immediately just like give them the full transparency.
The big spenders. There's a lot of like hot, juicy gossip going down on there.
So you really want to reach out.
If you want to,
if you want us to reach out to you, hit us up.
you'll get the ins and outs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all I have for now.
Okay. Cool.
But
Well,
thanks for that, guys.
Yeah,
You know,
thank
like I
you.
say,
Yeah, keep them coming.
please keep them coming as we need content badly.
We're already out of ideas.
We're lost. All right.
Basically, this is the last podcast. Yeah. Okay, so here is a topic for you.
Hot off the press.
Hot off the press. In my opinion, high revving cars aren't cool.
Hot take.
I'm just gonna say it. They're just not cool. Like that's
Yeah.
the argument is like you have this high revving car and like it's really linear power and like the sound of that motor screaming. It's like if you're above $5,000 on the street, you're a total jackass. Like anyone who's like punching it that hard on the street that drives by, you're just like, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
You know? And if you're trying to, that's example one. Example two, you're trying to show the car off to someone and you have to go like 100 to
Hold on, it's coming. It's coming.
like, listen how cool. It's like, that's not cool. So then,
Just wait till VTEC kicks in.
yeah, like, hold on. Like, it's really good above 6. It's like, just stop. We're on the street. And so, like, they generally don't make a ton of power down low. You have to like drive the shit out of them. It's like E90 M3 or something. It's like, but that motor
When it's
8,500, yeah,
screaming.
it's just singing towards red line. It's like you're a huge jackass if you're driving it like that.
Yeah.
And like 3%,
Especially when it's a car that, I mean, not an Integra with 200 horsepower, but an actual like powerful car that like.
that's as good as high revving motors get, and it's still just like.
Look, if you're redlining an E90, you're like at 100.
Yeah,
like
you're a huge asshole on the street if you're redlining that thing. So just like, and people are always like, it doesn't rev that high. Or if something does rev high, they just cream themselves. And it's like, that's not cool. That's lame.
I think they have their place, which is a race.
They are
track.
good on a racetrack, but people just go nuts for them.
It's a very like over romanticized.
BMW is one of the worst because it's like they'll step back, like when they use. And I guess it's kind of a current thing, not just BMW, but like when you turbocharge a car, you lose some RPM,
Right.
usually.
Yeah.
So it'll go from like 7,500 to 7, and people are like, "That's lame," or whatever. It's like, it's not. I'm sorry. I'm here to tell you, this lame. If you're into that, if you're into the idea of a high revving,
I think people just have these like very like romanticized images of cars. Like, here I am on this windy road. It's me.
I need to wind.
Yeah,
that
and I'm
thing
just
out.
I'm just banging
How
those
often
gears.
are you winding it out? Like cars, to me, here's the way I judge a car: is like, how fun is it in second gear?
Driving to the grocery store.
And like, going to Safeway at like 6 at night and like 20 or 30 miles an hour. Like, can I punch it in second and it's fun?
Right.
That honestly, that's like 80% of a car to me.
Yeah.
Like, because that's every time you drive a car.
Right.
Is that? It's not banging off the red line.
Well, I think there's this whole
RPM.
thing like car media, especially magazines, are so jaded Like they'll review two cars and be like, this car is hands down the better car. It's like hands down in like a very specific situation.
Based on me driving it for 1 hour.
Not even that. It's like based on this like racing driver.
Oh yeah,
like hammering the shit out of it. Like this car is much more like
it pushes less. And
it's like
limit.
Yeah, it's like hands down. Like this is the better car.
Yeah. This one wins.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think where I had got on that was Integra Type R's are like, they're getting, I mean, it's a cool car. They're neat.
Don't get me
They're neat. Well, I'll leave it there. They're neat.
You've considered buying one at a few different times.
I would.
Not at their current.
I was interested in one. I found a low mileage 97 and the guy wanted 22.
Was that pretty recently?
No. No. They're like 40 now.
Oh, Jesus.
And it was like 22. It was like, man, that's close to like MSRP. And it's like, I was like, I let it go. It was like in the 97. It's the early one.
This was like a few years ago.
This was maybe 5 years ago.
So quite a while.
And it was like 20 or 30,000 miles. It was like the one to get. And it's like, 22 grand. But now like 30 grand or 40. Yeah. Like, dude. And then it's like, since the last podcast, I will admit, I've stopped looking at Bring a Trailer because
he's had a reckoning.
After listening to myself talk about like how annoying it was like, why am I going to this site still?
There's an epiphany.
Yeah, and so I stopped. But every once in a while I will check, but not with the regularity that I did. Yeah, it's like, oh no, I like regress.
What did I do?
Yeah, I have to like call my sponsor. I looked.
We got to get you to a meeting, bro.
I looked again. But there are Type R's on there now, of course, because they're selling and people are like, oh shit, yeah, here, take this thing if you're going to give me $30,000. But there's ones on there where it's like, Bring a Trailer will say this car was recently sold, or it was sold on Bring a Trailer here, and they'll link to it. And there's one on there that was like, it was sold last year and the year before on Bring a Trailer. And it's like, yeah. No shit. People are flipping them because they're spending 30 grand for an Integra.
They're realizing what they're doing.
And then they get it and it's like, trying it for like a year.
It's a 20-year-old car.
Yeah. And so it's like, but the comments on that car, when people comment about that thing, it's just like, oh my God, that motor, like just winding that VTEC motor out toward screaming toward that 8,500 RPM red line.
As a Chevy Silverado like pulls away.
Yeah, it's like that is a 14-second car driven well. Like, and people are just go, oh, they just don't.
It's not about the quarter mile, bro. It's about
that Honda.
It's about the
motor.
twisties.
Yeah. Oh, I owned one of these, and they just like they go nuts for a car that isn't what you're describing. The car is not that racy.
What I don't understand is what the person that spends 30 grand for a car like that, what is their plan? Like, is it?
Yeah, I think it's hype. I think they're buying it because they're like, I'm going to show all my friends.
Like this is it.
It's going to keep going up in value, which I really think it's a value thing.
Yeah, and
they get it, and that's why they sell it after a year because it's like, oh shit, I've spent 30 grand for a car with 190 horsepower.
Well, I've never driven one, but it has to be pretty similar to the. In high school, I had a '96 Honda Prelude, which is
it's just like
it's the 2.2 liter, 190 horsepower.
Yeah,
a real enthusiast will tell you it's totally
different.
Night and
sub
day.
2 liters,
completely.
Yeah, but I mean, the Prelude was. I mean, it's a cool car for a high schooler back in 2000.
I think the thing is, Hondas are kind of made to be not disposable, but like they're supposed to be like tinkered with and beaten.
Yeah.
That's kind of what they excel at.
Yeah.
Like they make great like amateur grassroots track cars.
Yeah.
But who is going to do that with a $30,000 Type R? Like,
yeah, they were good when they were new for what they were built for.
Right.
But as this like collector icon,
right,
or whatever, unless you just have enough money to keep it forever, to store it because you like it and keep it forever. But the people are clearly not doing that. Right. They think
I'm sure some of them are, but very few.
They're buying into the hype, and that's why it's like, find a Type R that doesn't have 12 owners. Like they were all either stole. The story of that car is so tragic because it's like first of all, try to find one that's not stolen. Owning that car is probably
That's probably like one of the
mess.
biggest thing that's driven up the value. Just that alone.
Yeah, most of them are trash.
Yeah.
And then for a while they weren't that special.
And then there were the people,
had like
there were the
10
people
grand,
that also like actually used them for race, like stripped them out and
yeah, the people who bought them for the purpose,
Right.
and just like beat the shit out of them, which
Yeah.
they're supposedly good for,
right.
For
That's how they should be, but
autocrossing.
they cannot really be that
They're
anymore.
not gonna be that now.
Yeah.
And so they either got stolen to shit, crazy,
Yeah.
modded once they were cheap enough, and just beat,
Yeah.
and just whatever. Or there's a few nice ones left, and those few nice ones are turning into just circle jerk
Yeah.
territory. Yeah, whatever. Somebody commented either last podcast or the other one or whatever. There's a guy I used to work with, and he reminded me, who bought Jason. If you're out there,
What's up, Jason?
What's up, Jason? He bought a Type R, 2001, maybe. It was black. It was a nice car. And
I remember that car.
Do you
It was
remember? I think he spent like 15 on it, and it was like 50,000 miles. It was like, yeah, and that's kind of what they were. Like 15 was the high end to get a nice one, and it was like, cool. You know, he's really into Hondas.
Yeah.
Like that was just an option at the time. And so he didn't have it for long. I remember we worked at a pizza place together, and he delivered pizza in it, and he wouldn't put the sign on the roof because he's like, it's an aluminum roof. Like, it won't stick. This is the magnetic sign. Yeah. And so he got away with like not putting a sign on it. But it was like not long after he had it.
Can I just say that delivering a pizza in a Type R is pretty damn sweet.
Pretty sweet. Yeah.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah.
This is about the best
Hitting
car.
VTEC everywhere.
Just jamming. That's a good use
In
of
that
that
situation, driving it over 5,000 RPMs everywhere.
car. Yeah. I can't think of a better car to deliver pizza, honestly, than a Type R. That's a fun car to
If I was a super rich pizza delivery guy,
Well, back then you didn't have to be.
Right.
Like, 15 grand, do it, man. I think it was clean. Get it. Get those tips. And so one time he's like, you want to go for a ride in it? And we're pretty young. I must have been like 18 or 19. So, 14 years ago or something. He's like, you want to go for a ride in it? It's like, sure. I'm like, let's do it. And so we go for a ride, and he's like getting on it pretty good.
getting into it.
Yeah, digging into it. And it's like, it's an Integra, like they're fast, but it's like, that's my memory of them is like, oh yeah, this is like a GSR with like headers. It's like, cool. I mean, that was like, whatever. And so we're going down this back road in this like undeveloped part of the city, just flying. I mean, he was hauling ass. And it's like kind of gradual turns or whatever, sweeping around like back in these undeveloped parts. And he comes around this turn, and I think he lifted.
Yeah,
and
typical front wheel drive.
Yeah, and we're hauling ass. And he gets into this oversteer state, and the car rotates, and we hit a curb, crash, like full on, not like spinning, but it's like, it was substantial, slid into a curb.
A substantial impact.
Yeah, a substantial impact. And so I wish I had brought it. If you're watching, Jason, we crashed into the curb, fucked up. It didn't hit the body, luckily, but it bent some control arms or something.
Tie rod or something.
Yeah. But I have a piece of that rim still.
Framed.
Like a spoke or something?
It's just like the lip broke off.
Well, if Bring a Trailer keeps raising the value, you know how they list like, here's a gauge or like some wheels, like here's a piece of a Type R.
So I've kept that because I was like, Type R rim is pretty cool. And I was like, yeah, I'll use this for a podcast in 15 years. So I still have this part of that. But I learned two things from that. I came away from that with two things. One is, a Type R will actually rotate. Like those cars.
That thing will slide.
Yeah, you want to talk about a front wheel drive car that's set up well? Like that thing will oversteer
into a curve.
Yeah. It'll come around on you.
Even when you don't want it to.
You got to drive those cars. Like that thing.
Stay in it.
Yeah, stay in it, man. But the second thing is now anytime someone gets a new car,
dude, you got to go.
And they're like, you want to go for a ride? I get in it, and it's like, look, man.
Yeah.
Don't kill me.
Do not try to show off. I am just like forever. Like, oh, you want to, like, let's go around the block. I'm just going to let you know. I'm really uncomfortable with you going, and they do. They always respect it. They go like, if they get on it, it's like straight line. So I'm just forever like, because it wasn't like I'm traumatized about an accident. It's like whatever, car accident. But it's like, bro, that was your car.
Your
that
new
was a Type R for me.
Yeah.
You're trying to impress me. Like
I've experienced a very similar thing, like in my work, because a lot of times I'll go to, write about a car, or photograph a car, and like it was like, "Want to go for a ride?" And it's like, I do, but like I don't need.
Here's the thing.
I mean, like there's been some not like close calls, but just like this could go bad. Like
it is. It's almost always bad.
Like this one time I went to the Bay Area and I was writing about this guy's like 65 or 66 Mustang.
Yeah.
Like fully built. It's a really cool car, but it literally had a like NASCAR, like Roush, like, 9,000 RPM small block. Yeah. And the car was fucking fast. And the guy just, I'm on these like on ramps, just like, yeah, I know the car is very,
I believe you.
very. I'm like, he's a great driver, which is good, but like,
helpful.
You still don't. I mean, it's still like, there's been a lot of those, like, okay, like it's fast, so I can write this.
Okay. Yeah. So that is my Type R story, but that's a long way to say high revving cars.
a little overhyped.
Yeah, not that cool.
High revs, high hype.
The most fun stuff. I am down with what they're doing with the turbo stuff. Kind of. It's like part of the complaint is like the engines just aren't as fun, and that's true. They're just a little too smooth or whatever. I was like, yeah, put all the power down low. Like for most cars, it's like,
why would you not?
Why would you not? Because it's just like, I don't know. It's kind of dumb otherwise.
Even it's the same thing with the new Civic Type R, the turbo one. Like every mention, like if anyone ever reviews that car or talks about, they're like, it's not the same as the K20 or whatever.
Yeah,
it only revs to like 7. It's just not the same.
It's so weird how nostalgic people get for cars, especially these days. I don't know what is changing, but like I have never seen, or maybe just because it's cars we grew up with.
Yeah, I think that's it.
And like we didn't see the shift from muscle car or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like now we're starting to see cars where it's like,
I remember when
dude, I was there. It wasn't that good. It's like it wasn't that long ago, and it's turning in. Civic Si is another one. The like 99 2000
EM1.
Yeah,
Is that it?
It's like there's some of those where it's like, oh my god, they'll never make a car.
What's it? Hyper Blue? Is that it?
Electron Blue.
Electron Blue. Sorry,
come on,
my mistake.
Milano Red.
I'm gonna get some negative comments.
Body colored mirrors.
Yeah.
Nighthawk Black. Why do I know so much about this?
Why do I know about that?
Well, I'm gonna go, guys.
I need to think about my life decisions. But yeah, that's another car where it's just like they are so glorified. And it's just like, oh, I remember these. Oh, such a fun little, oh my God. And then they're going, one went for like $16,000. It's like, you just spent, after everything all said and done, probably close to 20 grand.
Yeah.
On a Civic. On a Civic.
A 15-year-old, 18-year-old Civic.
That no one cares about. It's like you bought it because of comments on an auction. Yeah. The funny thing about that particular car, it was on, the one I'm thinking of is a red car, and it was clean. It's single owner, old lady, whatever. The picture of the cleanest stock Civic, 99 red Civic Si you can picture. And it was on Honda Tech for sale for 2 months for 12 grand. I think 12. I think he started at 14 and people laughed at him. And he lowered it to 12 and no one took it. And he put it on Bring a Trailer and it went for 16. And it was just all these comments of like, you'll never find enough. Oh, that's the one. I mean, it was just like so bit up.
That site is nuts.
I
know we've already
I know. Like every podcast is going to be Bring a Trailer. That's so nuts.
There are parts of it that are cool, but the weird thing is they charge money from the bidder.
Yeah. The value of that site, like most of the value is the commenters.
Right.
And they're not paid.
Right.
Like it's such a weird world.
They're just there to kind of keep the money flowing.
But they end up being the reason the site does well.
Right.
Is because of the comments. But they're not part of the site. They're not getting any of the money.
Right.
And so the site just makes more money because they're housing a place for enthusiasts, kind of. Like it's sort of like we're providing this atmosphere. But I don't know, it's pretty weird.
But then like those very same people that bid on the cars also pay a fee.
Is it per bid? Do you have to pay per bid?
No, it's just
you pay a buyer's fee,
right?
5%.
The winner.
The winner.
Yeah,
the buyer.
I thought like even if you just bid, you still
No, only if you win.
So first of all, they're paying a ton.
Yeah.
Second of all, they pay even more after the fact,
right,
to get that car.
Yeah, for the privilege of hyping it up so they can buy it.
It's like it's a weird.
It's great for sellers. It's like it's become like the place
to sell a car.
Like every day, just like from random people, like here's a link to a car I'm bringing. It's like become
and it's turned into I love that when people just recycle links from Bring a Trailer, write an article about it or something. I'm contributing.
Yeah, like that's another. That's the same as the commenters.
It just builds into the hype.
Just like here's more money for everyone.
Site. Yeah, they are killing it. Yeah. I'm sure there must be copycat sites.
You would think so,
but they're just how could they get traction?
It would have to be like a very niche.
They'd have to do something else because they're already doing it. You know, it's like they're the name.
Yeah.
You're not going to like offer something else. Like
I remember when that site was like it was the same as it is now. It was just they would link to other to eBay auctions or Craigslist ads. Like check this out if you want to buy it over here.
Yeah, that was a smart evolution. On their part. It's kind of like that site is like car spotting almost. I think that's why, because there's such interesting cars. It's almost like a car show. Yeah, in a way. It's
except
like
you can buy it.
Cruising through it. Yeah, but then they added on like, oh, and you can comment on it and you can buy it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I get it, but I've had to stop.
It's like transcended
stop looking.
Car buying.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of like I was thinking about this the other day when you see, assuming our audience is men, which it is, by the way.
Never assume.
Podcast statistics are 100% male on YouTube. Yep. That I'm sure statistically there's a female or two watching, but it's like 100. We have broken.
That's a very marketable demographic.
Yeah. Okay. So, but it reminds me of like when you're on the street and you see some cool car and you like drag your girlfriend to go look at it. It's like 2 blocks away, you spot something like, oh, is that a GTR? Like, oh, is that a...
I've done that several times.
It's like, we got to go look at that. And it's like way out of your way.
It's like she's pulling a U-turn.
She doesn't give a sure if you're walking. It's like, she's just like standing there. Like, oh, you don't understand.
Oh, that actually brings me into one of the... Are we done with the Type R Bring a Trailer thing?
Sure.
Well, that kind of brings me into that thing about... where I see this a lot on forums and various other places, the like car guy wives.
I'm not familiar.
Just like I see all these guys talk about like, so then like my wife needed a car, but she really wanted like apparently they exist, which I just don't. My wife like doesn't really care at all.
Oh, like people have super strong opinions,
right? Like my wife, like she drove the GTI, but like then but she just wanted the R, like the Golf, like
she wouldn't let me get it,
right? Just like I mean, I guess it's cool. Maybe I think it's just all envy, but like. Do any of you guys have significant others that are like heavily invested in cars?
Yeah.
Like she wanted the car with the more power.
Yeah,
and the bigger brakes.
Or it'll be like she wouldn't go for the extended leather or some really specific part of it or something. It's like, oh, that's different. Yeah, because in my experience, they just like don't.
Right, exactly.
So it's like, just give me something nice.
Yeah. Sometimes I want something that's comfortable.
Something nice, normal,
a nice vanity
and then there's like actual enthusiasts, which are female, which is normal.
Yeah, they're into cars,
right? Like they're like car people. But then it's like, no, my wife, she she drove it. She just didn't like the power of the.
Yeah.
It's like I don't think I don't think my wife has ever like even punched it.
Explored the second half of the throttle.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting stuff. I was thinking too about we were talking about like project car, like the first podcast, we were like, we were lucky to get into project cars when we did or something. I was like, is that just us being lame and like, oh, we had the golden age, and
like we knew before it was cool.
Yeah, like is that not really the case? Because there are kids into cars now, but I think the problem is not really a problem, but like cars are any new car is so reliable now. If you're into cars, owning a car and just keeping it nice and stock means you will never work on that car.
Yeah, there's not really any reason.
There's nothing to do.
Yeah.
Like they literally don't need maintenance until 100,000 miles. There's nothing to do on a car. So you have to mod it. It's just
You have
different.
to like make it, give it some personality.
You have to go out of your way
void your warranty
to like do stuff like a new WRX or something. It's like there's nothing to ever fix on that car. So if you want to have a like the modern project car is like
just modding
a catback and like wheels and lower it, and it's like you have to start breaking stuff basically
to tune it
to be into cars
to really get into it.
Yeah,
that's a whole other topic. Is people that just buy a brand new like car that's crazy good out of the box.
Yeah.
And just immediately like, this thing is not fast.
Modding brand new cars is crazy.
How many minutes are we at?
I saw.
That's like
we got some time. That's fine.
I saw. We shared that, right? It was like a GT350, and it was like Vortex supercharger.
The one that was for sale.
5,000 miles, and then it was like up for sale. I got this kit, lowered exhaust, like just asking 70 grand. It's like, no.
But it's. I mean, like. When I was looking at the 1LE Camaro, like I was like looking at the classifieds to see if there's any cool used ones for sale, but half the ads were just like, here's my 2017 ZL1, like fully like a car that's fucking awesome out of the box. They'll buy it and just like dump money into it.
Yeah, build the motor.
Even though like factory parts have like never been better than they are right now. Just like. I took off the stock supercharger and put a different supercharger. Like I took off the stock forged wheels and put some different forged wheels.
Now I'm trying to recoup my money, and now I'm selling it.
It's like so now I'm selling it for 15% less than a stock one.
I used to think those people were just like balling, and now it's like, I think they're just really bad with money. Yeah, like just really bad.
I mean, like I like upgrading a car when it can.
Yeah, like lower it,
and something that's not something that can be reversed.
Yeah,
especially I mean, like with warranties and payments, which is
who buys that?
I don't.
That's the weird thing.
Who buys the
modded?
I guess it's a good deal if you're going to do all that shit to a car, anyways.
Yeah,
you get it literally free.
I guess so.
Just like here, like
customer has 5 miles on the car.
I bought this car, and the first thing I did was like take the engine apart and like change the pistons, like lower compression so I could run like. Do you ever even floor this stuff?
Did you even break? It's not even broken in.
It's crazy.
Yeah. New cars are good, which is good if you're into that, but bad if you're into working on them. I guess
it makes people do just like crazy things.
We were talking too about, new cars are good, but they're still like weirdly stingy.
Like certain options
about like some stuff. Yeah. Like the flagrant one was like a new Mustang.
Oh, the stereo.
You can get, the infotainment if you don't opt for like
the Primo,
the big boy screen.
Yeah.
They give you this fucking.
It's like 4.5 inches or something.
This like Tamagotchi.
Like an iPhone
thing.
Plus, whatever. iPhone.
I mean, it's
8 Plus.
It's perfectly functional. It works fine for what it is, but it just feels like, oh, this exists, so you like spend more for the.
Yeah, I think that kind of stuff is just like, I hate it when they're just like clearly nickel and diming.
Yeah.
Like the.
It seems like it's more of like the higher end cars do that, whereas like.
Is it
like like a Honda Civic comes with like a nice infotainment with CarPlay, like space.
Well, I think BMW is like the worst.
Well, that's what I mean. But like
terrible.
the car manufacturers that are seen as luxury,
they try to nickel and dime.
Yeah, like you're spending, twice as much as a Civic, but yet you don't get half the features.
Yeah, I think it's like Subaru. Like all their cars are like standard with that like eyesight.
Yeah,
radar or whatever. Like very advanced thing that like didn't even exist a few years ago.
Right.
But you still need like to get the fully loaded like leather package just to get, keyless start, which is kind of, for me, is like like if you're going to buy a new car, like you kind of
That's part of the point.
right. Like that's why you're spending a lot of
stuff.
money.
And it's stuff that's not expensive.
Yeah, it doesn't
like it
like,
should just be in there.
Like, why would you even like?
And they won't let
why,
you have
like,
it.
how much did it cost to engineer like a tumbler? And like, well, this was designed for this, but we'll take it out.
Yeah,
and
we'll
put
go backwards.
This like primitive.
to guilt you into paying more.
Yeah, like, I guess that's all it is just to get you to step up.
Yeah,
which
car
way works.
options. Yeah, on the flip side of that, like options. You just made me think of like if you ever look at the build sheet for an old car.
Oh, the like everything's
a Firebird or something. One is the options are funny because you get pretty much anything a la carte, like chrome bumper trim or not, or all sorts of crazy shit. But the money back then was just hilarious because a brand new like GTO was like $3,500 or something, and then the options sheet will be like.
Posse.
Yeah, Posse's like $42. like GT, like her shifter, like $8. It's like they're so fun. Like,
all right. To be fair, $40 is like $200 in today's money.
Well, that's what I mean. It's probably 4,000. I mean, it's probably off by an order of magnitude.
Yeah,
but it's like or 400 or whatever. But it's like. They're so funny looking.
Yeah, the craziest thing is just like you could buy anything, like any car. That's why there's all these super weird, like here's a bench seat, like with a 4-speed.
Get whatever you wanted. Like stuff that didn't like the shifter hits the seat, but like they didn't care.
Yeah. That's the way you wanted it. You special ordered.
Yeah, they just made it happen. Yeah, I love those spec sheets. It'll be like your total options come to $326, and they picked like 12 things, like legitimate options.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, they went for it. Man, that's pretty cool. It's not these days. Now there's like 2 packages.
Yeah. Do you want the premium?
Yeah. Do you want $3,000 for like a ton of shit? Here's push button start, but you also have to like have a sunroof and like leather and like the Bose stereo and stuff. It's like, man, thanks. It's so lame. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I think that ties in with like that's partly why there's getting nostalgia for older cars.
Because they're simple.
They're just simple, and newer ones are just
not.
Yeah. Speaking of older cars, what is kind of interesting is to see the 25-year import thing coming along now.
Oh, yeah.
And like the cars that you can start to import and stuff, like R32, Skyline.
Except if you happen to live in California.
Yeah. Except if you live in California. That's true. That is super fucked up.
Yes.
Because it doesn't meet
carb.
A car
It was never carb
it's
tested.
not carb. It's whatever the crash. Maybe it is.
No,
carb.
the crash stuff I think is all federal. That's the stuff that's like lenient for. It's all emissions.
Is it emissions? Because I thought they had to like weld door supports into it or something.
Maybe at one point, but I think that was before they were like federally.
Really? The thing that pisses me off the most is like you can drive. You'll see cars on the road where it's like. That thing is dangerous.
Yes.
The bumper is like zip tied
California, for those that are not from here, are not familiar with it, we have the strictest, like most anal retentive emissions laws.
Emissions only.
In the world. Well, I don't know about in the world, but like in the U.S. at least.
Oh, it's got to be in the world. Yeah, California's got to be.
But we have zero safety inspection whatsoever.
You don't have to do shit. No, you can drive whatever you want.
Literally,
we can drive the Fieri on the road. That car is a death trap.
Yeah,
to me and everyone on the road. Yeah, and you can drive it.
You'll regularly see cars that like look like they should belong in the junkyard. Like literally falling apart as they drive down the road.
You can get in like a serious accident. And like duct tape your door closed and put a trash bag on the window.
You'll see cars driving down the road at like a 6-degree angle because the frame is bent. Like it looks like they're permanently trying to change lanes, but they're just driving straight. Yeah.
But you can't have like a pristine R32 GTR.
Right.
Because it doesn't have like an EGR valve or something.
Yeah.
Even if it passes a sniffer.
Yeah.
Even if it like doesn't pollute.
Right. Yeah.
It like doesn't have the right part, or like you don't have a sticker on your intake.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can't drive that thing.
It's unbelievable.
But you can drive some like death trap on the road. And you see a lot. I mean, there are a lot of shitty cars on the road. It's not like, sometimes it happens. It's like
like at least a third.
A third of the stuff on the road in California like wouldn't pass the inspection.
Like you can drive
in,
on bald tires.
Pennsylvania. Yeah, tires don't matter.
Yeah.
Lights. I mean, maybe you get pulled over.
Yeah, but
there's all sorts of awful
there's
shit.
zero physical inspection of any vehicle on the road.
Yeah,
in
the mods. Like they don't.
Oh, yeah.
Some mods you can do. Like you can have a raised truck.
Yeah.
And put
with
like whatever
bully bars on the front that
Yeah.
are like made to penetrate through like the glass of a
Yeah. Or you can have whatever like Sylvania Dominator asshole headlights.
HIDs and like a 90s
Just pull up
reflector.
behind people and like blow their retinas out at night.
Yeah.
Nope, doesn't matter as long as you.
You're fine.
Well, that ties into my Firestone story a little bit.
here
So,
it comes.
all right. So
Infamous.
my girlfirefriend got her oil changed at Firestone.
What kind of car was
one
it
does
in?
she have?
The,
Just-
the
let's
one
just-
with it's a Nissan
Let's just
Versa
remind. Oh,
SV
Oh, well, I was going to say, if it wasn't an SV.
2012.
Let's go.
So she was just getting an oil change. So, we drop her car off at Firestone and then in the afternoon, I'm taking her to pick it up.
Yeah.
And so I'm just waiting in the parking lot, just make sure she gets her car back and everything goes okay. And this probably like a 2010 BMW 6 Series, like drives up and just parks, in the parking lot. And the lady gets out and goes inside. And like 5 minutes later, like the Firestone employee comes out, gets into her car and starts it up and like backs it up or something like that. And then gets out.
Like they were taking it in to work on it.
Yeah, like they were going to take it in to work on it. But then he stops and then he just gets out and pops the hood
Yeah.
and then tells her to get in and start it up. And so she gets in and starts it up. And like, this is when I noticed like a huge plume of like white smoke just pours out of the exhaust. Cause now I can see it from an angle.
Yeah.
And it's just like you can tell she's like giving it some gas and just more smoke's coming out like that. And he's like looking at the engine and looking at the exhaust or something like that.
Yeah.
And he makes this hand gesture that's just like, I don't know. But then like, he's like laughing and smiling. She gets out of the car and she's laughing and smiling and then like puts her hands on her head. Like, oh, I can't believe it was just that little thing or something like that. And then then he's like, all right, yeah, whatever. And then he just closes the hood and then she gets back in the car, starts it back up again. Oil is still pouring out of the exhaust and she just drives away. And I'm just like,
couldn't fix it.
I don't know if he was like, I can't work on this.
It sounds like it just blew a head gas.
Or just but the weird thing was like they were laughing and smiling about it. Like he was just like, oh, don't worry about that. Like that's not that big a deal.
This car sucks.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And I was just like, what just happened? Like that car is like clearly polluting.
And about to blow up.
And like it's not safe. And she just drove away laughing and smiling. And he was like, well, not my problem.
Not hers either.
Yeah, I guess.
Just give it back to whatever DJ's auto.
Hopefully she was
sales,
pricing out some rims.
Yeah, just figuring it out. So this podcast will be released Monday. This Monday, right?
Which is
We are about to head to Pebble Beach.
Car Week.
Car Week. Is that actually what it's called?
Monterey Car Week.
Monterey Car Week. Okay. So by the time you see this, hopefully we'll have a video.
Yes.
An actual Monday. We don't like to launch stuff on Monday.
Nah,
Probably
it's-
Tuesday.
Hopefully later. Yeah.
Podcast
at some
is
point.
good for
At some
Monday,
point next week.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, so there should be something coming up here. We have not shot it
For
yet.
all you haters.
Yeah. Everyone sick of the podcast. Ourselves included. Yeah, there should be something coming up. So look out for that. We've got a video kind of planned. It's coming together.
Here.
It's pretty embarrassing.
Figure it out on the way.
But yeah, we'll figure it out. TBD on that.
So, and if you happen to be in Monterey, well, actually, no, it doesn't matter because
You won't hear this.
it was nice to see y'all in Monterey. Let's
Hopefully we
just say
saw some
that.
people.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
We rubbed some shoulders. It was nice to meet all you guys.
It's good to see you guys.
Thanks for coming and saying hi.
Yeah. But we might try to do a podcast there. I don't know when we would release that. I guess
Probably the next Monday.
the next Monday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or we can always switch the two.
or what I just said doesn't apply.
Right.
'Cause it'll be
Okay, let's take this from the top and just start this
Start this
podcast from
podcast.
scratch.
Anyways, new stuff coming. At least one video.
that new.
And then we've got a couple other things coming up.
Yeah.
So yeah, look forward to that. Yeah.
Calling it?
I don't know. That's it.
I think that's good.
Okay.
Let's call it.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Until next time.
Yep.
Hope you like this. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for the
'em up.
contributions.
And
all
we'll
that.
have seen you in Monterey.
Yeah, good seeing you at Monterey either 1 or 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks for hanging out. See ya.